Hi, I'm Dr. Courtney, Jesus Professor, and in this episode of Jesus 101, we're discussing the Jewish view of the commandment, "You shall not commit adultery." Jesus, the King and Messiah of the Jews, explained, "You have heard that it was said, 'Do not commit adultery.' But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, gouge it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to go into hell. It has been said," this is still Jesus talking, "it has been said, anyone who divorces his wife must give her a certificate of divorce. But I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife, except for marital faithfulness, causes her to become an adulteress, and anyone who marries the divorced woman commits adultery." All right, so a couple of points here. Anyone really does mean anyone. So when Jesus says, "I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart," that really does mean anyone. And Jesus goes on to say, if your right eye causes you to sin, gouge it out and throw it away. So anyone means anyone. The marital status of the person looking at the woman lustfully doesn't matter. Anyone means anyone. The marital status of the woman being looked at lustfully doesn't matter. Anyone means anyone. Or are you making Jesus, the King, the Messiah, Yahweh in the flesh, out to be a liar? Saul, a prominent Jewish Pharisee and teacher, further explained, "Flee from sexual immorality. All other sins a man commits are outside his body, but he who sins sexually sins against his own body." The author of Hebrews wrote to his Jewish audience, "Marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure, for God will judge the adulterer and all the sexually immoral." We often think that other sins like incest and homosexuality are somehow worse than adultery, but we miss the implication that adultery is listed in Leviticus 18 right along those sins as the reason God was bringing judgment, destroying the nations of Canaan. Adultery is sufficient reason for God to judge a nation, even nations like Canaan who made no pretense of following God. Why is this? Because the marriage covenant was given to Adam and Eve, and thus the marriage covenant is binding on all peoples and all nations. If you are caught up in adultery, either through pornography, lust, or some other way, remember Jesus' words to the woman caught in adultery in John. Jesus told her, "Go and sin no more." And yes, porn is adultery, since Jesus says that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. You may find that you can't, in your own power, go and sin no more. Since sexual sin is a sin against your own body, it is a trap. It is a bondage. Committing this sexual sin is like a deer stepping into a noose. It's like an ox going to the slaughter. You may need to cry out to Jesus and trust and surrender to Him. Because you're that deer stepping to the noose and the ox going to the slaughter, you need to die to yourself through trust, surrender, and baptism. That old man of sin can't really be freed to go on about his way, but he can be buried with Christ in baptism. And if he's buried with Christ in baptism, he dies. And God creates a new person with a new heart and a new spirit. Since Jesus died and rose again, he can help you die to your sinful nature and die to your sin, and he can make you a new person. Well, praise the Lord Jesus.
The good life is the land where the big grapes grow, milk and honey flow from the morning till the night, and everybody's singing to Jesus. Yeah, the good life is the land where the big grapes grow, milk and honey flow from the morning till the night, and everybody's singing to Jesus. Oh, I love Jesus. La 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 la.